Me. I have an extra copy of the minutes, if anybody needs one, my printer printed off two.
And that's just, I've
Mine
already
did
added
too.
a couple
I don't
other
get it.
things.
It must have been preset. I just hit
Beginning
print.
of the week.
I adjusted. I got two.
Anytime
did too.
you want to do an
Oh, yeah.
update.
Well, I didn't, so it's operator error.
You said that, but that was kind of funny.
Could you send me the email?
I come out with a retort, but I need a ride home.
Yes, 6 roads and then that Washington. Not sure.
Yes.
Craig, do you wear shorts through the
Yeah, I
winter,
had
just like my
forgotten to put-
grandson does?
The,
Smart kid.
He is. Oh. Pardon me. It's okay, it's got the yawns, it's nothing major. Just shut the ball sleep all night, Jay. The thunder, you guys have a thunder last night? Yeah. I thought,
This morning.
this morning, I thought it was a dream. When I woke up, I thought it was in my dreams, and then my wife said, "Did you hear a thunder last night?" Yes, that wasn't in my dreams. It
Yeah.
felt like it was in my dreams.
well,
It was early in the morning and it was real.
Yeah.
So weird.
I didn't hear it, but the dog
Well,
did.
it wasn't terribly obnoxious and loud like it
Yeah.
was in the summer.
It was rumbling kind of.
Yeah, we thought it was a truck going by at
Could have
first.
sworn it.
It's a truck going by.
I thought the dog needed to go out or something, but she had just heard that
Yeah.
and cried out a little.
Mhm.
But, and then when I got up later on around, I guess it was around 5:36, I heard it again, heard
Yeah.
thunder again.
Yeah, there was one more, yeah, around there, yeah. That's what I heard.
7:01.
The other one, I think, was around 2 or 3 in the morning, wasn't it? I didn't look at the clock.
I thought I was dreaming.
I had it at my house at like 7.
Yeah, there was one around 7, yeah, that's the one,
Yeah.
that's the one I heard. I didn't get it till 5. There were 2 rumbles. Either that or I had 2 dreams.
It only goes to prove that you really ought to spend a little bit more time consulting the voices. The more you ignore them, the more they're gonna do to get your attention.
And Kate won't be here.
Right,
Right,
Kate,
okay,
she's not feeling well, she let me know.
okay.
Jean's supposed to be there online.
Yep,
Oh, and
she is.
Ezra, Seth is there.
I'm
Okay.
online. I'm online here. Hi.
Seth.
We are-
I'm gonna stay off camera. I'm
And it's
in
after
London
7.
actually right now, so it's midnight and I'm hiding in the dark, so.
My God, London.
Okay,
Thank
the
you for
recording
joining.
has started, so let's open the meeting. It's after 7 to record attendance, start with Jean online. Are you here, Jean? Oops, she's not
She
sure.
was.
I'm here. Yes, present.
Greg,
Tom Claus present.
Ed Rippey present. Jay Wellens present.
Shirley Green present. And our next thing is public comments. And I see that Seth Schrag, I hope I pronounced your name right, Seth, is online. And we met him at the town meeting at our information table. And he is interested in being on the commission. So he's joining us tonight. He was in Boston, so he couldn't be here in person. But we
Hey,
welcome you, Seth, and we hope you like what you see and fill out an application.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me and being so welcome. Sorry I couldn't drive down Lock Haven to see you today, but usually I'll be there.
Everyone, good. Yeah, great.
And Jerry has information packet you want to pass out during.
Are all the members that are gonna be
This
in
is,
attendance here?
everyone's here that's.
Okay, so what I passed out to you now is compilation of 5 years of study that Glenn Green and I have been doing on Crystal Lake's bacterial content and on the water usage in Enfield, along with other comments regarding the expenses and so forth associated with being attached to those things. So the other thing that I just got, and I like, it hasn't really anything to do with Enfield, because Enfield is ahead of the game in separating its stormwater from its sewer. But you'll notice that Manchester dumped 900 million gallons of raw sewage into the Merrimack River last year, and it was 30% greater than they've been dumping into it for the last 10 years.
Wow.
And that's because they don't have a separation of their stormwater from their sewer system. And when it rains a lot or the snow melts, if they get snow down there, it overwhelms their lagooning or storage facilities, and they just have to dump the raw sewage into it.
Wow.
Fortunately, I'm told by Jim Taylor that when Enfield redid its sewer, it separated its stormwater from its sewer lines. So we are ahead of Manchester in that regard, but it indicates the extent to which that is happening throughout New Hampshire. And it's happening in the Connecticut River along there to all the communities along the Connecticut River probably are dumping raw sewage in there too.
Wow.
So anyway, that's all I have to say. Read that over, recognize what conservation aspects have to do with this particular infrastructure, assault and abuse. And I'm going to continue this I'm going to try and do some different things on Crystal Lake this year, because the drainage system or the leach fields are the major problem with contamination of Crystal Lake. There's more bacteria coming into Crystal Lake from Big Mill Brook than is going out. That's because of the dilution. But there's a study that I gave to the health officers here some time ago, in which I looked at these bacteria that was in the shoreline of properties with different sized leach fields. And it's a inverse relationship. The larger the leach field, the fewer bacteria, fecal. And these are bacteria that are characteristic of human feces. I'm sending them to Nicholson's water lab in Manchester for culture. They are bacteria that grow at 37 degrees centigrade and a pH of 7, which is characteristic of the colon of humans.
Mhm.
And these organisms are being cultured in large numbers in the samples that we're sending to them. And I actually take these samples down personally, so the samples are kept cold until they get to the lab. So the reproductive or the reproduction of the results, I think, has been variable because of the differences in the months and the rainfall. The rain that comes down and the snow that melts is washing the leach fields, and it washes the bacteria that are in those leach fields right down into Crystal Lake. I'm going to try and extend this study to Mascoma Lake. If I can find somebody with a boat that can putt around so I can get to the shoreline. Now, I've sent this report to the Valley News, to the Smithsonian Magazine, because they did a study on Mascoma Lake here in 1973. And I suggested they might like to do a follow-up, see if anything's changed in 52 years.
Mhm.
I've sent it to the president of the New Hampshire Lake Association. And I put out copies of this in the Mascoma Bank, several of the grocery stores here and in Lebanon and in Hanover. So I'm trying to get this, I've given this to real estate agents as well.
It's good. So there's quite a lot in our packet, so I think it's best that we give them a chance to read it.
Oh, yes.
And then we have put it on the agenda for more discussion at our
Well-
next meeting.
This is information I'm giving you. After you've read it over, you can discuss it amongst yourselves.
Yeah, well,
You want, you don't need me anymore.
well, we may, well, we'll let you know.
Oh.
We probably We'll have.
What I've said is in there.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say any more until I get the data.
yeah, okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Jerry, before you go, I got a question
Go ahead,
too.
go.
No, you.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, there's just been appointed, a watershed study for Crystal Lake. And I think this would be a great piece of information for them to have.
Yeah.
Because what you're
Well,
saying in the study showing is that we need to control the rainfall that's creating the pollution coming into the lake, and that's all watershed management. And they need to have this information as, backup to, plans that they gotta do in order to control this.
Well, Glenn Green has sent this report to every member that lives around Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
Probably already got most of this. What you
Right.
haven't gotten is the stuff that I collected for the 5 years on the water usage here in the infield.
Right.
But, I don't know who's spearheading the watershed thing. The, how do they call
Are
it?
you?
Garden, rain gardens is what you need to push.
I actually got the watershed management for Crystal Lake going because I knew that, we had the watershed management for Mascoma
Mhm.
and they have 100,000. And I checked with DES to see just how much. Crystal Lake is part of that watershed, but how much would be done on Crystal Lake? And it'd be very little. And they recommended that we have our own watershed study, which we tried to do 10, 12 years ago, but then there wasn't the cyanobacteria
Right.
pet, so people weren't for it. They thought, we have a high quality lake, we didn't have to worry. So the planning board was against moving forward with it. So, but anyways, thanks, that's one of the good things that's come out of cyanobacteria. People are much more aware and they are willing to do things to protect our water. So that's how it came about.
Yeah, and it passed at the town meeting. And it's $100,000 grant to look into what we can do. It's not an actual fix, but it's gonna look into recommendations and things like this are gonna be very helpful.
Well, I
So,
hope so.
We know that.
yeah, so I have a comment and a question.
It's interesting to notice that the Manchester people say they've got a project to correct their storm drain from the sewer, but it's gonna take 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jerry, my question was, when did Enfield separate the sewer and the?
According to Jim Taylor, when they installed the sewer system, and some of the pipes haven't been installed since 1903.
Oh.
Over 100 years old.
Okay,
But whenever they've done the new installations, they have cut out the storm drainage into the sewer system because they're paying Enfield to process it. And they don't want to be paying them to process a lot of rainfall.
right.
Point of information, aren't they paying Lebanon to process it?
Lebanon, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Right. So how much of it is not going in then? What percentage?
Oh, whatever the rainfall and snow melt is, I don't know who measures that.
Yeah.
But there is a table that shows the amount of sewage that's being sent to Lebanon and amount of
Yeah.
water that's being consumed each year,
Okay,
from in infield. The question, of course, is to what extent are the manhole covers still leaking? There is a project to refurbish those things, but there are some strange, storm stuff that is still getting apparently into the sewer system. Although there are more people who belong to the sewer system than belong to the water system. So the discrepancy between the amount of water or sewage that they're sending to Lebanon and the amount of water that's consumed is due to the fact that there's more sewage being produced here than water consumed. Because the select board says any water that comes into the house eventually gets into the sewer. So they are charging people basically on the volume of water that comes in and the volume of sewer that goes out, which is the same as far as they're concerned, except the fact that there are some 66 facilities that are on the sewer system that are not on the water system.
so I'm still trying to get clear in my mind. The sewer system and the gray
Storm
water
drain. Storm drain.
and the storm drains are separate in all the newer lines. And the old lines, it's still a potential.
And they may have replaced those old lines entirely now with the new.
Does anybody know?
There's
if
a-
they
I
have-
think there's still a lot of
Replace more.
things left to
Yeah,
do.
like a third of them have been replaced, I think.
Okay.
There's a project to replace another third.
Okay, so there's 2/3 of it that it could still be a problem.
Currently.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. And my
Well, I'm
comment,
not so sure.
Jim Taylor would be the one to. ask.
Yeah, that's what I did. I called him today and he sent me a voicemail saying that the sewer systems and the storm drain systems here are separate. What has to be replaced is a lot of the water lines. A
okay,
lot of the water lines were put in 1903. And
right,
even, you know, in the late 1900s. They're old and they are the ones that are breaking.
So
okay.
they are, but even the old ones are separate.
So,
Stormwater.
so
The old
even,
ones now don't connect to the old, well, these are water lines that people are having to the house. They never did connect to the sewer line.
right, right,
That's true.
So the only thing that connects to the sewer lines now are the sewage, according to Jim Taylor. The storm drains for the most are all separate.
so it's 100% then.
That's what he said.
Okay,
They are
okay,
divorcing.
that's what I was looking for. That's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah.
And my comment was, thank you. This is a lot of work.
Well,
You and.
I hope
Glenn.
that it proves to be of use.
Oh, I think it will.
We'll see if the Smithsonian people contact me and say, yeah, we'd like to do a follow-up.
Yeah,
Take care, gentlemen.
All right.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yep, thanks for the information.
Thank you.
We're gonna take it away.
Kurt or Craig, do you have anything you'd like to say in public?
I found it, excuse me, on the agenda, you could discuss it. Other class 6 roads, that,
Yes. Okay.
that's why I'm there.
Okay, so, the next thing on the agenda is to approve the meetings of March sixth. Does anyone have any, corrections or?
Wasn't here, so.
Whitney, you always do a great job.
Yeah.
So I didn't see you.
Move to approve them.
Move as written, yeah.
I'll second.
We need to take a vote, and we have someone on. You go first, Jean. Are you there, Jean?
Yes, I'm here.
We're voting on the minutes. Have you read them?
Yes, and approved. Sorry.
All-
Yeah, my second, a favor, aye.
I favor it.
I'll abstain because I was absent.
Shirley Green, aye. The next thing would be the select board report. And Kate isn't here this evening, she's ill. So we will not have a report this evening. Let's see, the next thing is a school outreach with Canaan Conservation Commission.
So,
Jay.
yeah, I'll report on that. Folks in Canaan reached out to me. We had some conversations regarding doing, educational programs at the schools, and they kind of want to get involved with that too. And they have put together an outline of what they'd like to do, and they told me that they actually had a meeting planned with the superintendent to talk about it. And I told them that I never went through the superintendent, I just went directly through a teacher. So I've already been meeting with the environmental science classes. That's just 2 classes in the high school, and I've met with them. This is my second year I've met with them to kind of go over one of my educational ideas. So after finding out that Canaan was interested in gonna be involved, I told them that, you know, if they meet with the superintendent, let the superintendent know that, you know, we're doing this too, so that maybe we ought to just do it together.
Mhm.
You know, instead of having redundancies in the school, let's meet together, take their outline. In fact, I got a copy of our outline and their outline. Why don't you take a copy of each, okay? And there's a lot of similarities in what, you know, we put together as ideas and what they put together as ideas, so I think it just makes sense that we invite them. We invite them to a next meeting and start putting together maybe a list of items that we both conservation commissions would enjoy doing, and maybe get some more involvement and, you know, plan some things for the schools. coming, I think probably for next year. I think we're gonna run out of time for this year. But we'll have the summer to plan something for next year. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I would suggest you look over the two outlines and the outline that I did, just want to let you know, there's some stuff that's really low hanging fruit. Some of it's just brainstorming and there's some ideas that are, probably a little more involved and maybe a little out of our reach, but I think getting the two groups together, we can come up with a plan and have some fun in the schools, okay?
Great.
Yeah.
I think it's great for the conservation commissions to partner, and it's also great for the kids to have both their own town conservation commission involved in it. It
Yeah.
really is a good message.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is, 24th, I am doing, the 350 years of New Hampshire, history of, New Hampshire wildlife, 350 years of New Hampshire wildlife presentation. It's a UNH extension presentation PowerPoint that I did on whole home days. So I'm gonna do that for these two classes on the 24th.
Great.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It's fairly educational and informational. I thought it was pretty good. You saw it.
Yes,
You
it
liked
was
it.
excellent.
You guys didn't make it, no, but I liked it, so I figured let's present it to the kids and see if they can get something out of it. 24th of April. Yeah, the only thing is, I don't know if they're gonna, I think security is pretty tight in the schools. You have to go through a vetting process to go in, maybe as a guest you could go in, but you have to, every year you have to get re-vetted to go into the schools.
You're gonna do it home days again, you think?
Yeah,
That's on the next,
well, I don't know, I mean, I've done that already, maybe something different we should do, But, yeah, but anyway, so that's my feedback from that. Any questions or thoughts on that?
Well, thank you for all
Okay.
you're doing to get our youth involved.
No, just no, even if not, involved, it'd be great, but just being aware, I think awareness conversations are important.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wrote in, I forgot to write Old Home Days, and it's right under that. We need to be thinking about it. It's the last full weekend in, July, and we prepare the, program in June. So, we always like to have any information the groups are doing by beginning of June. So by that meeting would be good. So, last year, Jay did that presentation on, Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
And then you did a hike on Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Which is great, and I'm hoping that, we can do something similar this year. And, they can come up with an idea, maybe that presentation, or if you think another one would be good, you could get another one from, I'm sure there are some good ones that,
Yeah, let's put some thought into it, and some ideas for some sort of presentation, I think, yeah. Let's put some thought into that, I will.
okay,
I'd like to do something different.
then you've got time to come up with 2 months to come up.
Any ideas you guys may have, you can go online to the UNH, I will do that. Or if you have any other ideas that we could do something as a group.
Have we ever tried to, touch base with Vins and see if they
That's an idea.
might come
Yeah,
and
I had-
do like an owl presentation or
They
something cool like
can't
that?
this year, but,
That's
They
I
can or
got them
can't
last year. I got Vin's last year to come, and I got in touch with them, they're already booked.
Oh, wow.
But I was able to get, New Hampshire Audubon. And they're gonna come with their it's called Raptor, I think, so it'll be a very similar thing.
Oh, that's already set for Old
Yep.
Home Days? Okay.
Oh, that's awesome, excellent.
You have to get in touch with them early. I also contacted the Scorm Science Center in, Holderness, and they were already booked for the summer. They're very popular. The nature presentations are very popular. So I felt lucky to get,
Yep.
New Hampshire Audubon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be good. The next thing on the list, let's see, under old business, does anyone else have any new business?
I have one short thing I want to talk about, but we're gonna do that. That usually comes after old business, right?
The information table at, town meeting was, I thought, very well attended.
Yeah.
And, let's see, I was allowed to spend up to $100. We had, I forget how many, you've all seen the handouts that I got some from Barbara Richter, the director of the New Hampshire Conservation Commission. Some of them came from her and some came from UNH,
Extension.
yep. And the other ones, I got them from Carol Foss on the roadsides. And was very pleased that we reached out to her. And will keep us informed of things that they're doing with it, with the roadsides.
Well, a couple things regarding that. I bought an easel. So
Oh,
here's
yes.
here's the receipts for
I'll turn
that.
that in and have them send it to you. Yeah, that was
By
all.
buying it
Really dropped it
online.
off with me, just so you know, because I had two, but one of them broke, so now I
Yeah.
got two. That
Right.
goes along with both of my maps.
Right, yes, yes. So it was, I bought it at Michael's, and if I bought it online, rather than going to the store to get it,
Yeah.
I saved 20%.
Yeah,
That's awesome. And somehow I ended up with another copy of this, so
oh,
add that to the literature that we have for
Yeah.
handouts. And then I just had a question regarding, I think the rodent hit, poisoning of rodents handout that we had is excellent. I'm just wondering, because I don't see it in old businesses, if we plan on doing anything else to further,
yeah, I added that. I planned on that being on the agenda. And I noticed last night that I hadn't put it on there, so I have it penciled in. It's definitely on here.
Okay,
I have a
Yeah.
question, Tom, since you
Yes.
brought that up. I noticed that it says that the anticoagulants are illegal for retail, but
Yeah.
aren't all those that you see in the store, those are anticoagulants now? You see
No,
it,
but they can't sell them in the stores.
those aren't the anticoagulants?
No, because, well, unless they're there illegally.
Well, they're all over all the stores, Home Depot, every store you go to, they have all these
But
bags.
it has a list of the ones
Are they,
that you need to look for to see if any of those.
yeah, I saw that list.
Things
I haven't looked to see if they are.
But that's one of the things.
Well, what are
that we
those
can be
then?
Checking. They,
What are the ones that you can get retail? What are they doing?
Some of them are natural products that
that's what they're
disperse,
recommending
yeah, disperse.
that you use. Now,
rodent.
DES also has a pesticide used within the protected shoreline fact sheet. And pesticides are only one part of IPM, and that's using natural ways to prevent them. They can be used effectively and safely, but their misuse can harm beneficial organisms such
Understood.
as honeybees, as well as contaminate ground and surface waters. Because see, they can run into the water just the same as anything else can. Beyond 50 feet from the reference line of public waters, pesticides can be applied as necessary and according to manufacturer's guidelines. Within 50 feet of the reference line, pesticides can only be applied by horticultural professionals who have a pesticide application license issued by the New Hampshire Department of Agriculture. So there's probably some being applied illegally.
Mhm.
And that's something, that we can look into, these different people who apply them, whether they are registered to do it. And because that's not a good thing for stormwater runoff to be getting into the lake either. But anyways, there's this, I have a couple copies here, and you can get this right offline. But they have some good suggestions, and there are other handouts you can print out too. And when I printed the handouts, I did enough, so I figured when we have other things like we go to the town market, we'll have these all ready to put out.
yeah, no, it's gonna be great.
And it was, I did over 1,000 copies. I forget, so then I took in 2 more. And ended up, it wasn't terribly expensive. And that, oh, where's my, came to, I have too many papers around. Oh, here it is. Yes, let's see, came to 68.25.
Oh.
But after that, I did, 2 more. I found 2 more copies that were good from Barbara Richter. And, I did another 2, so there's probably another $10 more. But I had 75 done of each one, thinking that we'd be able to use those at other places too.
Great.
Yeah.
I got a few comments about the table. I enjoyed working with this guy and doing it, and it was great. I mean, Craig stopped by and looked at some stuff and we chatted and we got a few people, but one of the most exciting things about the table was Seth
Yes,
coming by and talking to us and showing his interest in our commission. And that was, to me, the high point of having that table there. So thank you
Thanks.
for talking to us.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I still have the book and the documents you guys put together too. I asked, is this available online? And you said, no, it's not. So I took it.
yeah, sources one is.
Yeah.
The Natural Resources book, that is available
Yeah.
online.
Oh, it is the white one with the black binding on it with the map that folds out. I thought that one wasn't.
The study.
Yeah,
stu-
I'm quite sure you can get that online. I have sent it to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're
Would
better
you
Well,
like
off,
it?
anyways,
you're
we've
better
been
off-
enjoying it. Yeah, it's nice to have, and you know, it mentions the areas around where we live and everything, so it's great.
Cool, cool.
okay.
And there was one downside of the.
There was.
Table, yeah. The only other table there was the Girl Scout cookie table, and I kept
Oh.
looking over at that. And I
Well,
had visions of Thin Mints going through my mind,
well, it's good that you helped their funding.
and I broke down, I bought 3 boxes.
There you go.
Yeah, but that is a purpose that we like to be at a place like that, is to meet people like Seth, who's new to the area,
Yeah.
and to, you know, have people find out what we're doing, and
Yeah.
and we're just thrilled that you're thinking of joining us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. It's been a very interesting meeting so far. Thank you.
If you have any questions throughout the meeting, don't hesitate to raise your hand and bring, so sometimes I'm talking too much and I don't notice when someone raises their hand on there, but Whitney watches pretty closely for me.
I have
Okay.
one,
Yeah, it's been really interesting so far. Thank you.
Good, I'm glad.
my thing that I was gonna bring up under new business actually fits, I can slide it in under this discussion. And that is, I have, to be apolitical, I've gone to 1440 for my news, so it's not right wing, not left wing, it's just facts. And one of the things they were talking about were the decrease in pollinators like bees.
Mhm.
And they have these, you can go on on their website there and you can print off articles. So I printed off this thing called Native Plants for Pollinators and
Mhm.
Beneficial Insects. And it has a great chart about what you can plant in your gardens that will benefit to have the bees. And I think this
That would
would be,
be a good one to add
Great.
to our list.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
if
that's
you
what I
give me
want to
a-
do.
Along with no more May.
Would you send me the
You know
link?
that, right?
Do what?
No more May. Don't mow your lawns and.
Oh, right.
And that brings up another thing that I've been talking with the, and if you send me the link to Ed, then I can print it right from the link and
Okay.
get a much better copy
Okay.
than if I use this one. And the Shaker Museum is interested in partnering with us on a pollinator garden. So I'm hoping that someone from there may be able to come to our next meeting too,
Nice.
to talk about that.
Okay.
But I did want to be sure that
Great.
everyone, so yeah, I gave you this too,
Yep.
everyone here. So
Scavenger hunt.
did you see it, Whitney? Happen to the thing that Kate made up for the
Yeah.
kids?
Yeah.
Scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunts are good ideas.
It
Yeah, you
is.
can get pretty creative making those.
Yes.
things, Yeah.
I looked for some online and sent them to Kate during the fall for the Halloween thing.
Yeah.
And she came back with the one personalized to Enfield with, it was just wonderful,
Nice.
but, the others were just generic.
I kept a copy of that. And just because I'm still a kid at heart, and I'm gonna look for those things, I'm gonna put a date on each one of them. And when I get it completed, I'm gonna return it here and you can see that.
Good.
54 Holly Drive. All these things were found.
So do you have any other comments about that day, about the table?
I just think I think it's good. I think getting the exposure is awesome and I enjoy doing that, so I'd be willing to do
Great.
tables.
So
other
we will
places too.
be on the lookout for other places we can do that. We're
Absolutely.
definitely, you know, at the markets
Yeah.
and also at, you know, Old Home Days, maybe we can have a table. there.
Yeah, at least we should. I mean, let's brainstorm for ideas for a presentation, but we should, that's as simple as that. Yeah, we should have something,
Mm.
something where people are gathering, you know?
Yeah, the other thing on the old, Shirley, this brainstorm here a little bit, one of the other things, I attended all 4 sessions, of the, you know, I don't know what they call
Oh,
it.
taking action for wildlife?
Yes,
Yes, isn't that great?
yes, it was great, and one of the things that they had to try to engage the public, and that's why I'm thinking of for Old Home Day.
Yeah.
Is, and now again, it's one of these things, maybe I don't know if we can get those, but you get a series of pelts for the kids to come over and feel the different
Yeah.
pelts. I don't know,
We could look into where we can get those.
right, I don't know if, again, would bins or, I don't know if Monshire, I was there with my granddaughter today at Monshire Museum, they actually had a live snake presentation.
Yeah,
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, she got to pet a snake.
yeah,
She petted it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. When Andrea was little, I actually went into a room
What's
because I
that?
didn't want her
Oh,
to
did
be
the snake
afraid of
bite
them and I
Snake
had
don't
always
seem to
been
bother her
petrified.
at all.
It was one of the bravest things I ever did was go in with her. They used to have Stanley, the way back, I don't know how long he's been gone, but the boa constrictor and,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, the kids, you know, went in and patted. And as I said, I was petrified to go in there myself.
Yeah.
But I didn't let her know that I was afraid. I went in. But you don't do.
I think anything we can do for hands-on, so scavenger hunts is great.
That's what
Yeah.
kids love,
Pelts, you know, but you
Yeah.
wanna interact. Handouts, they're okay for, you know,
adults.
adults, but to draw people in, I think we need as much hands-on type, interactive type things that
Yeah.
they can do.
Yeah, there's another program that New Hampshire Lake does that you guys are interested in. I can look into that too. It's all hands-on things about the watershed for kids.
Oh,
Mhm.
Watershed Warriors?
Yes,
Oh, I did that.
yeah.
I did that with the elementary school. I told you about
But
that.
you try to do it all by yourself, I think.
It was
You
different.
really need, the best way it works is to have
It was,
at least one, no more than 2 activities per person, you know, to have a whole lineup. It's nice, and it really good.
it was a learning experience for me.
That's a hard thing to take on by yourself, I know.
Plus, they were 3rd and 4th graders.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Actually, it was the wildlife series. They were the ones that showed the pelts in one of those, I think it was the last session. I'll contact them.
Okay,
I'll contact them and ask them if we could borrow that for the Old Home Days.
yeah, I bet they would. Another good thing that's coming up, generally it's the 3rd, we used to always work at it, the, Fish and Game puts it on every year and it's attended by thousands of people down at the, offices in Concord. And it's called New Hampshire, oh, I can't remember the name, Wildlife something.
Kurt just said something. Go ahead.
Farm Expo?
Pardon me?
The Farm Expo or Farm?
No, it's not that one. But, it's a great thing and it's just jam packed with families.
Is it Discover Wild New Hampshire?
That's it. That's it.
That's coming up April 19th.
Yes, I was gonna say, yeah.
That's
For
put
many
on by the
years, we
fishing game.
actually did a booth for New Hampshire Lakes at it. That's a great thing. If you have children that you wanna take to see something like that, it's a good place to take them. Yeah. Okay, let's
What day
see.
was that?
So I guess
19.
It's called,
Discover Wild New Hampshire. Okay, now on the signage for the class 6 roads, Jim looked into it. And, oh, actually, he figured too that we have 19 class 6 roads in Enfield. And, he looked into the price of new signs, and you can get 25 for $77.50. And, we asked him to look into, how much they'd be individually, because we wouldn't really need the full 25 to see if, it might be less. But anyway, just to, find out.
Craig's
But
got a comment, just so you know.
Yep,
It
sorry.
does the town no harm to have a few extra in case something gets stolen, destroyed by a falling tree, run into by a car or something. Well, I think the town can afford the extra money,
Okay.
really.
Well, see, why I was checking on prices was the Conservation Commission bought the last ones, and we're considering buying these here. So,
Fine.
which is still good.
I think we should.
I think we can
77
definitely do
for
it.
20, that's a steal.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I make a
For
recommendation.
25, it's actually
That's fine,
25,
The 77.
7. It would come to 1,000,
$3 a piece.
no, that's 77.50 each.
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
Not that you said it first, but now
Oh,
it's staying.
right.
yeah, yeah,
It,
no.
comes to $1,937.50.
The town's liability and the information of the users, it's worth it.
Well, I think we'll definitely, want to, purchase them.
And, I mean.
Pardon me?
Well, because you also, the roads you are gonna put the signs on, you should put them on both ends also.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just the class 5, from the class 5 to class 6, it's, it goes to the town line, to be placed there, or if it goes all the way through, class 5 to class 5, and should have a sign at both ends. Just to cover yourself. And when you, I don't know if you're gonna discuss the language on that, is that,
We said we'd like them basically the same, only say select board, instead of select them on them.
The new ones, sure, they can see.
there's, some of the signs that are currently up, I would have to go and look at my photos and see what the difference is, but it should be based on weight. And then season. But it's by law, it's a weight limit on the road. It's not a season limit. So, same as like when the town posts the road, the class 5 roads, it's posted by weight. And they go up in a certain time of the year and come down a certain time of the year, but it's a weight posting.
Now,
That was how the regulations requirements.
class 6 roads ever posted or for weight, or they're
It just
just,
doesn't matter. It's a town road.
so then they're posted there.
It have to
Okay.
be posted as a weight limit. You can
So
pick
right
whatever
now
weight
they're
you
on-
want. You can pick out any weight you want. Obviously.
But it goes along with the other signs that are posted. No, because,
I'm sorry, when you,
there are signs posted for weight out on the roads now.
there's probably some,
Yeah.
On every class 5 road in town.
not,
Yeah.
not all of them stay to weight. That's the issue.
Okay, so then, right now I have a picture here of the sign that is at the south end of Old County Road, for Route 4.
Mhm.
It says class 6 road, not maintained, pass at own risk, no wheeled vehicles, March 1st to May 31st per order of selectmen.
Yes, that's the issue. It's a
And
real,
then you're saying it has to have a weight.
yes.
Okay, we need to see that RSA.
Yeah. Actually, one of our handouts from Barbara Richter is information.
Yeah, I read that. It's,
Yeah, I don't know if
Not
I mentioned that in there or not.
I thought it was kind of confusing, but. I don't know the same weights.
So, again, a point of information, Kurt. So this is in addition to or must replace this that is on the signs now, which says no vehicles March first to the end of May. Can't have that. Gotta wait.
Well, you can leave that sign, but you have to have the weights during that time period.
In here, in
But
bold,
wait, there's no vehicle with wheels allowed during mud season. What's the difference?
The RSA is the difference.
And the whole business is never going to get, shall we say, very important until it is challenged by some aggrieved parties.
Fine. Yeah,
All right, so-
Can't afford it either if it's not properly posted. So if someone goes up there and their vehicle during that period, may do whatever,
Yes,
and if the police, if someone complains, the police says, you can't do
Just
anything
this meeting?
because it's,
No. Here's anything.
it's
Well,
not.
this is,
That's the thing, that's the problem.
I think this answers some of the questions we talked about. Here in bold, it says many conservation commissions have taken on issues related to class 6 roads. In many municipalities, class 6 roads are used for non-motorized recreational purposes. The local governing body has the authority to regulate the use of class 6 roads by off-highway recreational vehicles, which are forbidden to use the right-of-way of any roads, including class 6, without explicit permission of the governing body. And that's an RSA in
James,
the
that a
form
handout?
of an ordinance allowing.
Yeah, did you get these to everybody? You handed me this. It was in
I
there.
think there's multiple copies there.
Oh, wait a second.
No, I have one extra.
I do have an extra one. Yeah, there is.
I
I'm
figured you
sorry.
took them home with you.
No, yeah, I guess I did. I
But I
figured everybody
figured-
else had them. You're
I
right.
figured Ed and,
Thank you.
Well, I'm seeing you holding them like, wait.
I thought you had them anyway. No problem.
at the last paragraph, it says some commissions have included class 6 roads as part of a municipal trail system, but in the past hesitated to maintain
There's
it.
different pages. No, those aren't different columns. They're different pages.
Roads and trails.
Roads and trails. Oh, wait, no, it's the same. Flip it over. Yours is the same?
No, they're different
Two
pages.
sides.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Okay, yes, it is. Okay. No problem.
Okay. The bottom paragraph is, I think, clears with questions we've been asking. Some commissions have included class 6 roads as part of a municipal trail system, but in the past hesitated to maintain these roads for trail purposes because of the lack of clear authority to do so. A municipality may not repair or maintain a road that has become class 6 due to failure to maintain it without running the risk of its returning to class 5 status after 5 successive years of maintenance. That's an RSA.
No.
The solution may be for the legislative body to vote to make the road a class A or B trail, both of which are public rights of way that may be maintained for recreational trail uses without fear that maintenance may result in upgrading to class 5 status with increased maintenance requirements. Boy, it is a,
It is. Yeah, what they're saying is if you take good care of that road, then it would be forced to become a class 5 road.
if, unless you change it to a class A or B,
Just do it 4 out of 5 years.
yeah,
Go ahead, Craig.
yeah.
yes, you, sir, just, came up with the solution I suggested a month or more ago. All you have to do to be in compliance with that statute is to maintain it for the first 4 years and then not touch it for a year. Let it lie fallow. Do nothing to it. Because if you maintained it for 4 years, you've got it in good enough shape that it can be going without maintenance for a year. And then in the 6th year, you get back to maintaining it. And you can do that without running afoul of the statute and without having to change the classification of any of them.
Yes,
That's a loophole in
so
the
that's
statute.
the
All you have
answer.
to do is
Right,
pay
it's
attention to which years you maintain it, and in the 5th year, you give it a rest.
Yeah,
Someone's got to track that.
yeah, well, you
Pardon?
need to.
Oh, yeah.
for
Someone
everyone.
would have to keep track of it.
Yeah, it's easy. enough
That's
to-
not
Oh,
difficult.
I know, I
We've
know.
been doing it for decades.
No, I know.
But I mean, someone consistently, if there's
And
different.
this is why
Yeah.
we have either a nonprofit, according to RSA 50817, or a town entity, according to RSA 50817. Done.
Yeah,
It's not hard to keep records.
Right, but we've already agreed previous meetings that we are not gonna change class 6 roads to a
Right.
trail. And that we're gonna partner
We
with,
don't have to.
and then we're going to partner with these other organizations that are willing to, on their own time, volunteer their time to maintain these trails.
Yes,
For these class 6 roads, I'm sorry.
And what Greg was saying is just, we need to be careful that we don't overdo it, otherwise it could
Yeah.
revert back to a class 5 road.
All you
Yeah,
have
I-
to do is a little eye fellow for a year.
So they all need to know that.
and we
They
will
certainly
have,
do.
Yeah.
Kate's been working on it, so we should have a update our next meeting on what she's been working with the volunteers.
Mm-hmm. Certainly should.
Yes,
I believe the way the statute's written is the municipality would be the ones maintaining these trails, not volunteers. If volunteers are
Right.
done in it.
yeah,
this
we have it
doesn't
all
apply.
straight. I think we have it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the volunteers are part, they work, they would, in essence, work for the municipality, no?
No,
Oh,
no,
they don't?
No, that's the difference. That's the way, reason we wanna do this.
Oh, okay.
yes.
Is do it this way, cause it's not gonna.
Yeah, it says right in our
No.
minutes here.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And also, Jean, we were hoping we would get to, preview your proposed guiding principles. And can you get those to us this month?
Yeah, you bet. I've got them drafted. I'll get them to you in the next week or so, Shirley.
Okay, thank you. And I'll get them out so that we can preview them
Yeah.
before our next meeting.
Thank
Thank you. So is there any other comments on, class 6 roads?
Just the,
Yeah,
I got PDF of the, most recent, most recent hard road to travel handbook. I think it was a 22 version. But it's RSA 231:190 and 191 that addresses load weight limits. And it's starts basically the first line, authorize the council or select board to enact exact maximum weight limits on class 4, 5, and 6 highways, both seasonally and year round. Sound cities often use the authority in the months of April, May, due to the Harvey's mud season, whatnots. And I get on through the whole reason why, but it says, either seasonally or year round. So you can actually do a year round weight limit if you chose also. And there's no restrictions on what the weight limit is. Anything above 0, I guess, technically, to whatever you want.
they're already can't use them from a certain period of time in the spring, correct?
No,
Right.
no, that's,
Right.
well, that's. And then there's the whole process of a public hearing, for whatnots, for doing that, and it gets into that. And it's all through the select board also, because they control the road. They're the authorizing body, I guess the word, phrase would be, for any road in town. And class 6 roads are town roads, so,
And they're
Yes.
already off limits, so, this time.
well,
Craig,
that's-
did you
that's-
have a comment to add?
that's questionable.
Only if Mr. Goddard is finished.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Thing of it is that the class 6 road is still a full public highway. And the abutting landowners have the right to use vehicles on it, provided they're not, violating what the select board puts on it for no wheeled vehicles, as, during mud season, or weight limits or whatever, but until the wheeled vehicles restriction is proven to be inadequate, then let's go with that for this discussion, okay?
Mhm.
If it is a class 6 highway, then a budding landowner does still have the right to use it, correct me if I'm wrong, to access existing buildings for forestry or agricultural purposes, subject to the mud season restrictions. They still have the right to use vehicles.
And that's what Mr. Kluger's here to,
Quite so.
yeah.
As long as they follow that, then they have to, then they have the same right to use it. You know, use it in those periods and don't cause damage. But the thing of it is that if you decide you have to have a weight limit, then you've got to get into the, you know, jump down a rabbit hole into the thicket of what weight limit for what. And if you're going to be, accessing it during, say, the frozen times of the year, I mean, you're not going to damage the road surface no matter how heavy it is. And of course, you have to stop using the road with vehicles during mud season, according to, order of the selectmen. Then, I fail to see why it is that you are needing to have any further weight restrictions. I understand that the RSA's may say so, but the point is that they might be necessary, they might be good, but the town already has the authority and the abutting landowners already have the right, within certain time limitations, to be there on a class 6 road. If you change it to some other status, that takes some time and you still have to adjudicate things.
Well, I think we've agreed we don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was decided.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the signs?
Yes, that's what I said.
So I think you asked at the last meeting, how many class 6 roads there are in Enfield? Is that
19.
19, okay, I thought it was 19.
He was quite sure of that. Was,
So 19, and if you need a sign on each end, you're looking at 38 signs.
But some are already posted.
Some, yeah, how many of them are posted? Anybody?
And some wouldn't need to be posted on both ends because it
It's not-
may, it may just, come to a either inaccessible end or into another trail or another class 6 road, but not, it's not the same.
Or
town.
another town.
Right,
Yeah.
where you're not gonna really be able to, you know, it wouldn't be our responsibility to post it on the other.
Yeah,
end.
some of them just peter out.
Yeah,
Right,
The one up on Methodist Hill, that one just peters out. Really,
I mean, I think that the 25 probably would be sufficient, would be my guess.
One of the things I mentioned in the past, and I'm hoping someone might want to do this, is basically look at these roads and decide which ones even deserve a sign. Some of them,
that's right, we did
you
mention.
know, there's
that
only 2 or
before.
3 of those that actually currently have a sign anywhere on them. County Road, Mud Pond Road, and maybe one or two others that I'm drawing a blank on that I can't recall. But
Well, as soon as.
90% of these roads aren't even posted at all, have no sign. It's just a cut in the woods that you go by. Unless you physically know that that is a class 6 road you're looking at, you would have no idea. And probably half of them, you wouldn't even attempt to go down because there's just no purpose for it. It's either overgrown, or it doesn't go anywhere. So I would have, like, that's why I would like someone from one of you folks to go with me and say, okay, that one's worth a sign, that one is not worth a sign. Don't even waste your money.
Well, I think
Just
that
leave
would
it at the
be
status quo.
a good thing. There's probably several of us that would be.
yeah, I'd be willing to do that. I
Yeah,
have
we
no
don't have to go
problem.
down each road unless you wanna go for a walk, but
Yeah.
at least look at the entrance from the common class 5 section.
Yeah, I'd do that. I have no problem doing that.
It'll probably be a month or so before being,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of them, you know, pretty much all of them. Well,
You
most
can
of
let
them
us know.
are off of a dirt road already, so,
Mhm.
but actually, they've been pretty good this year. So,
No, I think that's we mentioned that before, and I think
Yeah.
everybody thought that was a good idea. And now with the thinking about how many signs we need, it's
Yes.
another good
Yeah,
reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm free in May. I mean, April is pretty short. I'm gonna be out of town a little bit for about another 10 days, so, I think May and June are looking good for me.
Yeah.
Please bear one thing in mind, people, foliage. But at the end of April,
Yeah, it changes, everything changes.
when
Yeah.
everything leaves out, your vision, your range of vision is gonna be vastly contracted.
Mhm.
You wanna try and get out there before the leaves get very big.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that would be certainly by the end of April, early May, because,
As soon as possible.
If you're just looking at the entrance
That's
and
one
then,
thing.
and saying, okay, we need 2 signs for this road, that's
Mhm.
really. I mean, I walk these roads year round, so,
So you're saying the,
now, have you been on most of them, Kurt?
Yeah.
so you're saying the leaves would not be a major factor in holding us back?
No.
Because I just assume wait till May.
I'm sorry,
I would just as soon wait until May myself, because I've got things I'm doing in April too.
yeah, I mean, obviously they're scattered around town, so. Might not be able to do it all in one day.
Mhm.
You know,
If you-
Craig-
Especially if you wanna go for a little walk.
Based on your point, if the foliage has grown them in so much, then maybe we shouldn't bother putting a sign in. I mean, they're not even really that accessible if the foliage.
Will they be accessible? This is more for legal concerns than anything else, I
Oh.
imagine.
Mhm.
Well,
The other hand, if it's hard to tell if there's anything there but a herd path or deer, then sure.
right, I mean,
Leave it
that's what
alone.
I'm saying, when I walking these, and it was like I said, some of them are not even worth attempting to walk. You can go in 20 feet and you realize this is, unless you're a hunter or live here,
You get lost.
yeah, it's not, why bother? It's not a fun, it's not an enjoyable place to walk. Because it's either overgrown, too wet, blow downs, just where others, you can just keep walking. As long as
Well,
you.
it'd be nice if, well, our meeting, it'd be nice if we could have that, walk before our next meeting. Which,
It should be.
is May 1st, but if we could do it the last week in.
The last Saturday in April actually would work for me. The last Saturday in April would work for me.
What is,
Or Sunday, Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
How would that,
I'm
What
looking,
date is that? I didn't-
24th, 25th, 26th and 27th? Does that look right?
yes, 26th and 27th. Yeah, actually, I'm back from North Carolina.
I'm in Florida,
Probably,
Lucky guys.
so, but don't, go ahead, don't, it
Wanna
looks like
plan
there's
on that
enough,
weekend?
there's enough people to go. So, I mean,
Okay.
I can,
Look at the list and sort of like mark.
I'd rather go Sunday if we could.
Sunday's
Make
good.
a forum is that weekend,
What is,
Saturday.
Let's do it Sunday. Let's plan a time and let's do it. You wanna meet somewhere and just say like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock? I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
next week,
Yeah.
that is a
Do you
meeting.
guys wanna do?
Yeah, you would have to be posted as a
Many of
meeting.
you are going.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'll, we'll, have to,
You plan on going, right?
I'll
So
yeah.
there's 3 of us, 3 from the commission, so that has to be posted, right?
right.
What's your full board? 5 or 7?
Well, hopefully by then, there'll be 7.
right.
We have 6
then it was-
right now.
It was okay to do 3, remember? We did 3
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So as long as, if you have 4, then you
Yeah.
can, you better not, you can't do it.
yeah,
So
So
just, so you looks like you have just you 3.
Mhm.
I'd like
They'll-
to go. I'd like to go on it too. I don't wanna mess things up, but
no, then we just have to
No,
get it. No.
that's not messing it. How about you, Seth? Are you interested?
27.
Sounds nice to check these places out, get to know them a little bit. Absolutely.
Hey. Then we'll put what time on Sunday? Is that a good day for you too, Seth and Jean,
April 27th. Anytime's good for me.
in the afternoon? It's better for you, Kurt?
can we do late? late
It's better
morning?
for me too.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Ed's suggesting late
Okay,
morning.
then, yeah.
Yeah,
Pick a
I'm
time.
gonna block that day off just to keep it covered.
okay, great.
okay. Yeah, late morning would be good for me. Friday and Saturday I'll be busy with Shaker for
Okay,
wanna say 11?
Yeah, I could do that.
11 a.m.? Okay.
Meet here,
The day's gone.
Yeah, might as well meet here.
Yeah.
and I'll have, you want me to, I'll post it, have, Lisa post it, Whitney?
Yes.
I know that's my lunch.
Okay,
I'm
April
out for 6 hours.
27.
Yep.
11 a.m.
Class 6 road walk.
See, that's another thing, Seth. We aren't allowed to, all of our information should be public. So we aren't allowed to go do anything like that without it being posted. And then if people from the public want to join us, they can.
That's great. It could be an event.
I know.
And, you wanna just do a view the trailhead type of?
I think so. We
Yeah.
wanna try to see as many,
Then we can decide which, you wanna explore them further, either individually or
yeah,
later.
later, yeah.
And then we'd be ready to vote on our signs that Thursday.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Can we get a second quote from someplace else? That sounds like a lot of money for,
We probably could.
yeah.
That's really probably reasonable.
Really?
These are made at the New Hampshire State Prison.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yep, a lot of things, a lot of
Mhm.
things are made
Yeah,
there.
just price of metal.
Yeah.
But I'll ask, if Jim, if he does get quotes from other places.
But if we do go with that, I noticed that I think our budget for our CC is $3,600. That's what it was in 2020.
Right.
It's the same this year.
That's what we gotta think about. I think, and I've got, Lisa's on vacation this week, so I didn't get a chance to ask her. But I think we still have 1,400. We don't lose it. If that's correct, we'd be okay. But 3,600, if we just have the 3,600, that takes a big part of our budget.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes, Craig.
One other supplier of signs that makes an awful lot of municipal signs. VOSS signs, Voss signs,
VOSS.
and they are in Manlius, New York. Which is MANLIUS.
MANLIUS. Okay. Good, that's good, so we can get an idea.
I make no promises, I just know they make a lot of signs.
Good,
And-
thank you.
Are we in agreement on what needs to be on the sign at this point too?
I can do some research on that if he wants.
Okay.
We had asked him to basically, for getting an estimate, similar to what's on there, only change the selectmen to select board.
Mhm.
2 words is how they usually,
Pardon me,
2 words,
Yes.
select board.
yeah. But that's something to be thinking about, and we can discuss it the next meeting too.
Mhm.
And we can check to see how much you can get on that sign, if there's a difference in price too.
Hmm.
Cause you want it to be very readable too, you don't want too much on there.
Yeah, you don't want 5 lines of fine print.
Is there anything else anyone wants to add about, Class 6 roads? And the next that I hadn't, put on, I forgot to, put on was the Shaker Bridge replacement follow-up letter, and I wrote a letter to him and got a reply back here. He says, "Thank you for the follow-up, Shirley. I have saved your email to our records for future reference during the design process." So he's got both of our emails, the follow-up that we sent on the Shaker Bridge, on the Shaker Boulevard
Bridge.
the
Right.
replacement.
Yep.
Is it a long, can you read the letter?
The letter I sent him?
Yeah, do you mind?
Yeah,
Is-
no.
If it's not.
Um, Dear Jonathan, I am writing again on behalf of the Enfield Conservation Commission. Members of the commission attended the February 18th, 2025 Select Board meeting and listened to the information session regarding the Shaker Boulevard Bridge replacement. After discussion and careful thought at our March Conservation Commission meeting, the commission has asked me to write to you again to reiterate our concerns. We want to emphasize the aquifer concern. There is a significant size aquifer alongside the Knox River. The area is also in the highest ranked wildlife habitat for a biological region with historical deer yards. We are concerned about potential implications of impact to these valuable natural resources and feel that making the bridge larger will have more impact on the environment.
Sounds good.
That's great.
We hope our comments and concerns will be considered in the final plan. Thank you.
Excellent. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
So he's got both letters.
Mhm.
And,
Okay.
hopefully,
Point of information, to whom did you send that? The consultant engineer?
pardon me,
Did that go to the consulting engineer?
yes, I know, that's the one, the letter came from him. The initial letter, and he wanted input from, the Planning Board, Conservation Commission, Heritage Commission, and Land Use and Community Development. Yeah, now Heritage never picks up the mail, so they did not comment. I mentioned it at Heritage and they didn't know anything about the letter. But, they still can comment because I had written to him initially and asked him if there was a deadline, and they haven't started with the plans yet. And so they are still taking comments, so.
Okay, and this is who, the consulting engineers?
Yes,
It's still open for comments?
yes.
Do we have any idea how far that goes?
I don't, but I can ask him.
Please do. And another important question is, has anybody mentioned the fact that neither the present bridge nor their proposed replacement includes a sidewalk for pedestrians?
That was mentioned in our first letter and also by many people who came to that meeting.
And I still don't know that they have actually paid attention to that and redesigned the thing so it has at least one sidewalk.
No, we don't. They haven't done a design yet. Cause that's what he said in the letter. I have saved your email to our records for future reference during the design process.
Gee, that takes us to the old story of that's a nice. We'll wait and see, I guess. But the thing that is, if there has not been a collision between a car and a person on foot on that bridge since it went in, that is only by good fortune and not by design.
And if the bridge is wider, the traffic's gonna be faster.
Much faster.
Yeah.
Any normal bridge, of which there are certain examples in this town,
And
has a sidewalk.
yeah, how we, came to we know that as a conservation commission, we've really got to stick.
You
With
gotta
the
stick to your
environmental
intent.
impacts.
You gotta stick to the purpose for which you exist.
Yeah,
That's what,
We have-
so we
we have
tried
other
to,
opinions.
tried
on
to
other
roll the
things.
bridge in with having an impact on the area, on these things. Because, it will, with it being bigger, and it's gonna have an impact on that whole neighborhood.
I was down there and I measured the width of those abutments. Which means I measured the width of what holds up the present structure. It is a bit narrower than the abutments are wide. The present abutments are 24 feet wide. And if the intent is to have lanes of travel, then those abutments, as they are now, are just wide enough to support the ends of the beams or stringers that would support the new bridge. And the consulting engineer has chosen that they should be of steel I-beams. Which, considering the difficulties of building in pre-stressed concrete and of maintaining the thing, is probably a pretty rational choice. I mean, the one little I know materials, I quite agree with it. But also, the width of it is therefore that much more predictable, and the actual weight of the bridge is a bit lighter than if you had all that concrete. Which means that quite possibly you can have your 2 lanes of travel there with their 24-foot width. And on one side at least, preferably the downstream side, you just cantilever 3 or 4 foot wide sidewalk off of that side. Its total weight is going to be way less than it's going to upset the balance of the bridge. You will separate the walker from the driver, and you will not have to have anything larger for abutments. So if they do that, then you don't have to change the aquifer or anything else involved there. This is something you talk about with those engineers.
Are the abutments in pretty good shape?
Yes, they are. I mean, after all, they are poured concrete and they were put in 2012. They have easily several decades of service ahead of them.
And so is the bridge itself.
Yes, that's at least a 70-year bridge. It is an Acro manufactured bridge, and it is made of steel parts that are all galvanized individually. So that means that it is highly rust resistant, and I happen to have photographs here, if they're needed, that there's almost no rust on it now. Mind you, it's not over salt water either. But there's no, as far as I can tell, there's no immediate structural need to replace it.
Well, I'll write
That
back.
time,
I think I would like to write back to him and also ask him if he'll keep us posted on the design.
that is a perfectly reasonable question coming from this commission.
Yeah.
That does not overstep the bounds of your responsibilities.
If you all agree for me to do that,
Agreed.
Sure.
because I think that would be good to know, don't you?
Yeah, sure would.
Meantime, it is valuable to know that they can still take comment.
Yes. Anyone else have any comments? Okay. So, then I had neglected to put on the, roadside too. And, I have the information and, I got in touch with Carol Foss from the New Hampshire Audubon. And, she's very happy to keep us, keeping that she was happy that we're interested in, educating people about this and, will keep us posted on information that will be helpful to us and so forth. We can, partner with the Audubon to, inform people. Because I think a lot of people don't realize too that. So is that, what do you think about that? You think that, or you have other suggestions that we could be doing? What do you think, Tom?
We talked about possibly sending out mailings to businesses.
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to do that or not.
Certainly consider that. That's, you mean a mailing like, one of the flyers that
Yes.
gives a lot of information
Mhm.
to it.
Yep. I think, well, Kate's not here, but I thought she was gonna check with Ed on what we have, what we can do, what we can't do. We weren't, she didn't think we could approach business directly. So that's when we started talking about.
Well,
mandates.
we found out since then, the businesses, it's against the law for them to sell it.
But it's not against the law for private practices to use it.
Right, pest control company.
So they can, so that's what they're doing.
They're the ones,
They're-
but as
Right.
far as us going into a store to try to buy it, we can't.
Yeah, no, that's not the problem. The
Right.
problem is businesses hiring these pest control
Mhm.
companies.
Those are the ones that we
Yeah.
would want to find out if they are approved by the Department of Agriculture to do it, even if they're licensed.
Mailings you go to.
There may be,
The pest control people. Should mailings go to them?
pardon me,
Should our mailing go to the pest control people?
yeah,
Rather
Just-
than manufacturers or companies that employ those pest control people?
mhm. Well, I think we should definitely find out. There may be some that are licensed and there may be some that aren't, and we should be sure they know about the dangers of doing it within so many feet of the water. And how there is a regulation, state regulations. too. What do you think? Do you think that's a good start, Tom, or?
Well, I think we were gonna put something in the newsletter.
Yeah.
That was mentioned.
I did
in the-
put a fact sheet in the newsletter
Right, okay,
this month, yeah,
okay, so that was,
Yeah.
that's good.
and I'm gonna continue. I just put one in and I think we should continue to do that. Yeah, but you're thinking of a mailing from door to door?
I was thinking for businesses.
Oh, for businesses,
Businesses, I think that's right. I think it should be businesses and these pesticide control services.
right,
In the sense of being an awareness conversation with businesses, so when they bring in Joe's Pest Company.
Right.
They'll have the ability to ask questions, what are you using for
Right, exactly.
rodent control? Are you using, yeah,
And say, what else can you do?
right.
They should have other
Yeah,
methods.
integrated pest management is,
Right.
there's all kinds of
And then,
ways.
and then they'll say, well, I don't want you using the, hopefully, they're gonna say, well, I don't want you using the pesticides.
Anticoagulants.
Right, so, I think.
because I wonder where they do get their the things they use, people that do the pest control.
Well, it's legal for them. They can use it.
Right, but I wonder where they're obtaining it, because the businesses can't sell it.
Retail is not.
Right.
legal.
Yeah, direct manufacturers. that get it
Right.
from-
So they must be getting it directly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
If they're licensed providers, so,
if they're licensed.
yeah, it's true. But I think that's a battle that's maybe out of our
Yeah,
jurisdiction.
yeah.
I think we just gotta try to bring awareness to it.
Right.
Yeah,
Awareness is important. I think businesses have given them that information.
because I had no idea, myself, how this affected the
Yeah.
wildlife.
So how does the Audubon figure in this? They want to be involved with us or?
They, yes, they're the ones who are leading this.
Okay,
All of the Audubon societies in,
okay.
New England.
So they have the information and giving us the information. So let's just
Tom
pass it on.
watched a
Yeah.
webinar on it.
Mhm.
I got the, recording
Yeah.
on it. Because I forget why I had a conflict and didn't watch it. But, I had the recording because I registered for it.
Right,
But,
and I sent the link to the recording to everybody, Jay, because I think you requested it.
Okay,
yeah,
So that was sent to you.
okay, I haven't got around. to
Yeah, so
looking at
just
it.
look for an email from me.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah,
I
so
have it. I
there
just
is-
haven't got to it
Yeah,
yet.
so yeah, just so,
Tom
Yeah,
said
there
it
is that
promised,
recording.
I sent, and he sent it.
No, I got it. I just haven't got around. to
Yeah.
it.
so,
So, and that's where I got all of the, from the people listed on there, the people from, Massachusetts reached out to me too. And, they'll be having,
Check.
workshops and presentations, other ones you can watch by Zoom, that you can go to by Zoom. But it's good to know, we can find out from them what they're doing.
Yeah,
and that'll help us.
but see what they recommend, see what they think of the idea of the mailings.
Yes.
Is that a good?
Because, they would, probably have a much better idea where we'd best be able to focus our time and attention.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is worth following up on. And they've done a lot of the legwork. We can learn from them and we ought to be doing some awareness and we should dig in a bit on this.
So I will, write back to her too, to ask her for guidance on the best way to provide the awareness and who to.
Yep, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I got it. I'll check that out, Tom. I just haven't done, yeah.
Does
no problem.
does anyone else have any other business or anything else you want to comment on that or any other business you'd like to bring?
Just a clarification, our class 6 walk is, where are we gonna meet at 11 o'clock?
Here,
Here.
Oh, right here, okay, good.
only one more person.
Oh, sorry.
Hi Shirley, I am now reporting as trailmaster.
Oh, good.
And since this winter is about over and since the snow is about melted at these lower elevations, over the next week, I'm going to make sure that I have all of the contact information for all of the people who have expressed an interest. I am going to come in here and inventory the lumber we have staged here for bridge construction. And it'll be time to reactivate the volunteers to get out and patrol the trails for blowdowns and from brush and to some extent, drains insofar as they haven't, mostly they don't. Later on in the season, we have 2 or 3 10-foot bridges to build on the Bicknell Brook loop. The one that takes off from Grafton Pond Road. Where a tributary enters Bicknell Brook, there is a considerable need for a clear path, and that probably means having a bridge or two. It's also the case at that point. I had the Hans Sawyer go out there and drop 3 spruce trees nearby, which can now be limbed and the bark peeled and then turned into bridges. It's a little technique that people can learn, and I'm thinking of local volunteers as well as possibly some of those engineers from Hyperthon who love to work together on different jobs than they're used to.
Mhm.
There's also Suki Marsh, where the first bridge right next to the road is made of 6x6, 6x6, however many feet long, pressure treated stringers, which are very strong and unrotted. On top of those is full dimension, rough cut wood, which does need to be replaced now. The second bridge in is constructed the same, but it's much younger and only needs to be looked at. And the third bridge, a little ways up the brook, was broken. But in October of 23, Alex Hartog and I went in there and we too spent 3 hours. We converted this broken 12-footer into a sound and secure 10-footer, which takes care of the 3-foot wide brook. And unless some mooses decided to go dancing on it again, it shouldn't be a problem. There are, of course, with these trails, all of them need to be patrolled. We need to, remove some of the brush needs to be cut. We need to rake the fallen limbs off them, but basically they are in good shape due to the fact that they have very little use. Very little traffic, not much human impact. You may recall that in the fall of 23, we built about 6 bridges on the upper part of Bicknell Loop, which consists of pressure treated supports, sills, grip, and we used Little mentioned roughs on Hemlock for the actual walking planks or beams or whatever you wanna call them. They are very secure and they should last a good many decades, even as they are. So we'll get to it. And over the course of the summer, what I'm trying to do is, shall we say, accustom and train up the volunteers so they can carry on into the future.
It's good.
There will be other trails we dealt with, of course. There is a trail that is proposed for possibly connecting the Moose Mountain Trail, or Old County Road, with Maple Street.
Really?
Beyond the line in Canaan. That's, nothing official. But that's what the landowner is thinking to do. And if that happens, that's about a quarter mile of new trail to go. I've looked at the ground and there's nothing about it that we haven't done a dozen times.
And that goes from where again? From the Moose Mountain Trail to?
From Moose Mountain Trail, AKA County Road,
Yep.
to the east by north to reach Maple Street.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Hasn't happened yet.
No, I know. That sounds good.
They own the land, so it was not like it would require any further action by the town, except the volunteers might want to turn out and actually build that trail.
Nice.
And that's pretty much all I have for the moment.
Mm.
We're gonna revive the crew and we've got things to do. Thank you for your time and learning questions.
We thank you, and if there's any way you need assistance from the commission, please let us know.
Well, sure. Well, there might be some stuff to purchase, but I'm not aware of anything right now. It would be just materials that would remain on the land and vest to the town. I already have, I believe, tools enough. What's that?
What's that?
Any
Thank you very
questions?
much.
Nope. What's that?
I had one quick question. The way you worded it, are you planning on retiring from this position at the end of the year?
My, but you're perceptive, so. I'm now 73, I turn 74 next month. I would figure that the thing to do is to train people in everything we do and to remain around to be a consultant and so forth. But I don't necessarily see myself carrying on in this exact position beyond this season. But the work is simple enough and a few dedicated people can learn enough, especially with the materials that I'll give them, that I don't need to.
Mhm.
I'll make that pretty clear to them at the organizational meeting in April, because what I really want to do here is have a few apprentices for some months.
Sounds good.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's great. I'm glad you're planning ahead.
If we didn't, as we all know, failure to plan is planning to fail.
A man without a plan is wandering around aimlessly.
Or maybe he has a compass with a wooden needle manufactured by Tate, as in he who has a Tate is lost.
Well, thank you for all you're
Sure.
doing.
Yep, thank you.
Very appreciated there's a lot of people who enjoy those trails.
And what we ask from them is, if they are so moved, they can sign up from us and learn some techniques and have some fun with your people.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if you feel you need more volunteers, would putting something on the listserv, would that be something you want to do? Cause Conservation Commission could put something out there for you if you want to, but that's up to you.
I'll talk to you about that a bit later.
Mhm.
Because certainly we want to have enough knowledge, enough awareness out there that people who feel altruistic and generous enough to turn out and actually get their gloves dirty are valuable to this business.
Mhm.
Talk to you about it next week.
Sure,
Right, thank you.
I'm gonna.
You're going south.
You heard that? I'm going again. Um, the 16th, I'll be leaving, so I'll be home, I'll only be gone for 5 days, but,
All right.
I'm gonna be,
Before
going
that.
to see my grandson for his 6th birthday.
Nice.
Nice.
Nobody's saying don't go. We're saying have fun.
Thank you.
It's
I
priority.
did.
After all, they're young exactly how many times?
Oh, boy. He's already gone so much.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we said for now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to mention. I asked, Rob how the Laramie Farms was
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
And, they're in the same place they were last month. They've applied to, New Hampshire Department of Transportation for permission for the road.
Mhm.
And, that's still in limbo. I guess it hasn't been decided, but he expected they'll, probably the next place they'll be going to is a planning board, but there's no date, no,
Okay.
at this point,
DES has weighed in on them already?
no, they haven't gone to DES yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
She,
it's a long process.
yeah. And by the way, does DOT take public comment?
I would
You
assume
have
they
to?
do. I would assume they do.
Because I looked at that intersection from the point of view of sight distances and so forth. Yeah.
I'm wondering how that will go.
You said they submitted application to DOT?
I'm not sure it's an application or exactly what they've submitted, but that's where they are right now, is getting permission to getting
I gotta put it
do that road, whatever that has to be done.
The whole thing was screwed up.
Get off that hill.
So doesn't DOT have to tell us to require?
No. You just need to go on and you just tell them you want
Pardon me?
to join. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
he's never contacted
We would,
me.
I would,
Reached out several
last month, let's see,
I know.
where is it? I got a notice that they were into the process.
Okay.
But anything that happens with that, we'll get a copy of it. And there hasn't been anything. It's been a very slow month this month. There's not much going on. There was one simple, there was an emergency thing that DES gave to DOT to fix something on Interstate 89 in Grantham. But that was that. They had, I think, 5 or 6 days to do it. And so just that, it was a very quiet month. It'll probably get busier with people applying to do different things in the next couple of
Yeah,
months.
the weather.
That's the interesting tidbit of yours. Thanks a lot.
So thank you very much and
Thank you,
thank you for
Craig.
coming, Craig. If no one else has any other comments, do I hear a motion to adjourn? And thank you, Jean and Seth for being here.
You
I
bet.
hope you're,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep,
See you
I'll
next month.
second the motion.
Yeah,
Okay,
look
great.
forward to meeting you in person, Seth.
Yeah, we'll be there next month in person.
Excellent.
great.
Well, we'll see you.
Excellent.
Hello, man.
Take
Well,
Do you
care.
have-
You gonna do the walk?
Seth, do you have any questions before we
Yeah.
leave tonight? Anything?
No, I mean, I just enjoyed listening and there's just so many topics. So just soaking it in and looking forward to the next one.
Great.
Great,
Thank you.
great.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, Jane.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jane.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jean.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're in London, Jane? Whoop, she's gone. I think she said in the beginning.
She did.
was in London.
Yeah, she did.